What's up, everybody? Today we have a new exciting bird feeder to unbox, and this one has a special twist. It's also a smart bird feeder, but there's something special about it. So let's check it out. This feeder was sent to us by bbpEco or Eco, and here's the design on that feeder. I like that they have a northern cardinal on there. That is a common backyard bird, so that's awesome. And they also have all of these birds listed could show up potentially at a feeder. So I like that about the packaging, but let's break this thing open and see what's inside. Nice secure packaging here. Here's the feeder inside the box. Looks nice and sleek. It's actually, this one's actually, it has a plastic casing. It looks like the roof is metal though, so nothing can break through the roof here. And then the stand right here is also metal. So I'm sure this requires a little bit of assembly. So we're gonna take this inside and assemble it real quick, but I like that baby blue color on the feeder. Looks nice, and obviously it's a smart bird feeder. So you have your camera right here for capturing and filming birds. So let's take this inside and assemble it real quick during a time lapse. All right, now that we're inside, let's take out all the pieces that are in this box, spread them out, see what we got, and then we'll put it together. So it looks like we got, looks like we got some instruction manuals right here. One of the manuals will be for the feeder, one of the manuals will be for the camera. That's super helpful to have. A tree strap, this is probably what I will be using to mount the feeder. But then you also have a charging cable for the camera. And then there's 2 pole straps to mount it to like a thinner pole or a thinner tree. And then you can also screw it directly into something with these anchors and screws here. That's what the little box has inside of it. It's like we do have a stand. You know, you can screw this directly into the tree or the post or whatever you're putting your feeder on, or you can use the strap and such like that. So then it looks like we have the actual feeder here. There it is, looking nice and sleek like I mentioned before. It's that baby blue color. And here's that special mechanism that I was talking about that we'll get into in a minute. This is your reservoir for filling up your seed. It latches right here. The one design flaw I can tell you that I already don't like is when you open this, it stops right here. So you're gonna have to hold it and then pour your seed in. That's not a huge deal. It's not a deal breaker whatsoever, but I wish it would have just, the hinges would have gone a little bit further and could stay open by itself. Again, not a deal breaker whatsoever. Here's the feeder itself. And the thing that makes this feeder special is it's squirrel proof, or claims to be squirrel proof. So I mentioned that this part is plastic. Squirrels will actually sometimes chew through plastic. The roof though is metal, which is a good thing. Has a little cute little chimney on it as well. The trough looks like it's for much smaller birds. Your finches, chickadees, stuff like that. Maybe pine siskins if you're in the area. But what'll happen is when a heavy creature like a raccoon or a squirrel, most likely a squirrel, steps foot, it'll drop this mechanism and it actually blocks the seed trough right there. You see that? Not only that, but it should spook the squirrel enough that it'll leave. Now, you'll want to hang this high enough off the ground so it can't just like come and steal seed from it without touching this at all. But that is a pretty cool design. I'm really excited to test this out and see if the squirrels at my house are able to get any seed from this. They're pretty smart creatures, so I'm sure that I'll have to be mindful of where I put it regardless of it being squirrel proof. But that's a pretty cool design right there. So let's get this thing together and then I'll show you what it looks like. Here's the camera that it comes with. That's pretty cool. You don't have to relearn things if you already have a smart bird feeder and you just want to add another one to your arsenal. It's kind of like you have your Amazon devices at home all synced and paired together. These bird feeders sync and pair together and you'll get notifications all in the same place. So that's pretty awesome if you want multiple of them in your yard or in multiple places, you know, at your kid's yard or your parents' yard or whatever it is. One thing I will say about this is to get this camera out of the trough, it is a little bit more difficult. Like I have to get my fingers in there, but it does come out, it slides out, it fits in there perfectly. So that's pretty cool. The trough itself is also plastic. So just something to keep in mind, if you're going to use this feeder, make sure that it's in a squirrel-proof area. Hang it up somewhere. Honestly though, with this dropping mechanism, if you hang it up correctly, the squirrel shouldn't be able to access your seed and shouldn't be able to chew on anything as well. What I just realized is that this comes assembled. It's already ready to go. Comes put together, so we don't need a time lapse. Something that I just realized about the feeder is it actually has different levels. You can see that right there. There's different levels on this feeder, and that's pretty cool. So you can set it to light, medium, and heavy, and it'll actually reduce what types of birds can actually land on the feeder. So for example, it has this whole weight chart here that includes things like American goldfinch, that's 1/2 ounce. So you'll want, if you just want goldfinches or finches in general, house sparrows, for example, are 1 ounce. You'll want it on the light setting, which is 0 to 2 ounces. Now, if you want it on the heavy setting, maybe there's a light squirrel that could get to your feeder, but that could allow birds like grackles, for example, to come and land on your feeder, maybe magpies as well. So I'm probably going to put it at the medium setting just to bring in maybe a few more variety of birds. But that's pretty cool that you can set this to different levels. It comes preset at medium, which is where I'm going to keep it. But if you didn't want some of those bigger birds coming into your feeder, you can change this and the birds wouldn't be able to land without that mechanism falling and locking them out. So that's pretty awesome. Let's hang this thing up at my house and see what birds or squirrels we can get to the feeder or prevent from coming to the feeder. Just some final thoughts on the bbpEco feeder. It works great. I was able to use the tree strap to actually hang it from the wall outside my apartment. So if you didn't know, I live on a 2-story apartment. There's not a lot of trees to hang up a bird feeder, but I was able to hang it up on the grating on the outside of my balcony there, and using the tree strap, it's super strong. I was pulling on it, yanking on it. No chance that thing's going to fall. Absolutely incredible to have the multiple options to install the bird feeder. Number 2, the feeder trough was absolutely massive. It took almost an entire 5-pound bag of Niger seed, so that was pretty interesting and pretty cool to see as well. Now, unfortunately, as you may know, if you do feed birds, it takes birds several weeks to find a new feeder. And so, unfortunately, especially living in a 2-story apartment, there's not a lot of birds in the area to begin with. Now, I've hung up feeders there in the past, but I haven't had one up in a while, and the birds took at least a week to find it. I think it was around 2 or 3 weeks to find it. So unfortunately, I did not get footage with this bird feeder. The squirrels haven't even found it yet. It also has night vision, so if you ever have any creepy crawlies that like to visit your feeders at night, most of the time that will be raccoons or possums. If you're in the area where they're found, then you'll be able to capture that on your feeder as well. Now with this feeder, it does have that closing mechanism as long as you hang it up high enough where the creatures can't just stand up on something and eat straight out of the feeder. I think it looks amazing. It looks really, really good. I'm glad I have a feeder at my apartment now, and I think it's going to do the job in taking care of the squirrels. One other thing I would like to mention as well, just about the battery life of that camera. It does last quite a long time, several weeks. It only takes a little bit to charge as well, so that's pretty cool. You can purchase on the side a solar panel hookup that will make your battery life a lot longer, but I have found that it's not absolutely necessary. You just have to charge the camera every 2 weeks or so, and then you can capture just a ton of bird media. It does come with an app where you can watch live feed of your bird feeder, and you can also go back and see all the movement notifications that came through. So what I like to do at the end of the day is I just scroll through and see what birds are at the feeder. What's up guys, Jordan from the future here. Real quick, I just wanna mention that try as I might to get birds to come to the feeder, it wasn't enough time for them to get here, unfortunately. I did go to the store and pick up a different type of seed to see if that would make a difference and see if the birds would come in, and unfortunately, still didn't work. I did, however, stick my hand in front of the feeder and put some seed in, so I'll show you what the camera capabilities look like just with my hand putting in a little bit of that open sunflower seed for you guys. But honestly, the feeder is going to work great. I'm excited for the footage that will eventually come to the feeder. It just takes a little bit of time for these birds to find a new feeder. When they do, they're gonna go crazy. And then one other thing as well, I have so many squirrels at my apartment, in my apartment complex, and I did set up seeds all along below the feeder to try to attract them to jump up on the feeder to test its capabilities. But squirrels are pretty smart, and so if they don't feel like something's stable enough for them to jump onto, they won't do it. The squirrels did come and eat all the seed underneath the feeder and did not mess with the feeder at all, And that has not been the case with my other bird feeders that I've set up here. But unfortunately, no squirrels did actually take the jump to jump up onto the feeder. So I think that's actually a good sign there as well. Make sure you check out the link in the description below. It'll take you straight to Amazon. It is an affiliate link. Let me know in the comments below, do you think this is an awesome concept for a bird feeder with that closing tray that doesn't allow squirrels to eat your seed? Thank you for joining me. I hope to see you all next time on Bright Eyed Birding.